one you thought might be available post-international break. How's he getting along?
He's getting along really well, but not ready yet. Not ready yet. Trevor's progressing really well as well. Levi, it's really good to have him back in full training, but it's going to take a few more weeks. He needs to tick those boxes. But no, we've got a pretty fresh group. Esteval, Jamie Gittins is back, which is really positive going into the running.
And in terms of sort of Greece, maybe an extra week, so City game, is that a possibility for some of those guys?
I don't know. We work day to day, so I don't want to give a timeline and not come through with that timeline, put pressure on those players, but they're all working really well at this moment.
Seems like, not just for you, but for quite a few clubs, the international break has given players an opportunity to, shall we say, speak their mind a little bit. A few stories have come out. It feels like about 2 seconds ago I was asking you about Enzo Fernández and those comments post-PSG. He's spoken again and was asked, obviously, about if he wasn't going to live in London, where would he be? Just further kind of building this momentum around a narrative around Madrid. Have you spoken to him about those comments again? Because last time you defended him, and I wondered what had taken place this time.
I spoke with Enzo an hour ago. As a football club, with me as part of that process, we've made a decision. He won't be available for tomorrow's game, and he won't be available for Manchester City on next Sunday. I think for Enzo, it's disappointing to speak in that way. What I will say about Enzo is, in terms of him as a character, as a person, I've got no bad words to say about him, but I think a line was crossed in terms of our culture and what we want to build. So we had to make a sanction, and that was a decision we've made.
Did you talk about this unity? We've obviously seen that, haven't we, on the pitch? You know, how disruptive can that be to what you're trying to do here?
It's not ideal. I think a lot of this stems from, we had a really difficult 10 days, probably the most difficult 10 days of my career as a player or a coach. I'll go back to the first game against PSG, the belief in the group and what we were doing, the performance was top, and it all fell apart in 15 minutes, and there was a huge emotional dump from that game, which I think fell through to the next 3 games that we played. Why was there such a big emotional dump? Because the players were so motivated and had so much belief that we could do something really special in the Champions League this year. I feel like not just the comments from Enzo, but Cuckoo's interview as well, stems from that. It actually stems from a good place where they want to do well, they want the club to succeed, but in those moments I think we need more emotional stability as a group of players, from me as the head coach, as a football club, so that we don't respond in the way we have done to the setbacks we've had.
I'll come on to Cuckoo in a moment, but just in terms of Enzo, was that your decision, the club's decision? Or is it a case of some of the players saying, actually, we're not comfortable with this? And he's been your captain the last few games. No,
Enzo, firstly, as a character, as a person, as a player, I have the utmost respect for Enzo Fernández. What he's achieved in his career, the player that he is. He's frustrated because he wanted Chelsea Football Club to be successful this year. He still wants that, and we still can be. In terms of the decision, I've said this from day one, it's not all about just me. It's not all about the sporting directors or the ownership or the players. We are aligned in every decision that we make. So it was a joint decision. I'm saying that the door is not closed on Enzo. That's very important. It's a sanction. You have to protect, especially this football club. It's a winning football club with traditions of success. You have to protect that culture. And I think in terms of that, the line was crossed in the international break.
As far as you're concerned, when you had that conversation with him, is he happy here? Do you get the sense he is here for the long term, or is he looking for that escape to...
Well, I can't speak for him. What I do know is when he's been on the pitch, even at Everton, when we lost the game, really disappointing performance, there was no lack of commitment in his performance. There was no lack of wanting the club to do well. In terms of speaking for him or what he wants in his future, that's not for me to speak about. I want to focus on a massive game tomorrow, where if we win, we can make an FA Cup semi-final, and I want to focus on us still making the Champions League, which is a big possibility.
You mentioned Marc Cucurella there. I mean, he was, I guess he chose his words quite carefully. He sort of, you've got a sense, if you read between the lines, of the frustration, that there's clearly a group of older players that don't believe they can maybe win in this current structure that you're working in. Is that a fair assessment of those comments?
Well, I think, again, fantastic conversation with Mark yesterday. Half an hour in my office. The disappointing thing for me, what we're trying to create here in my time, I've only been here for coming up to 3 months. I can't speak.
Feels longer, doesn't it?
I'm enjoying it, even the difficult moments. I want players, I've said to them from day one, if they've got any issue with how we do things, to come and speak to me and speak to the sporting directors. My disappointment in Mark's interview is where it went to. I think he should have spoken to us first about the things that he's feeling. I want players to feel like they can speak openly and honestly for the benefit of the football club. And those conversations we've had with Reece James, that's why Reece has signed a new contract, because he believes in where we're going. And as a football club, we know we need to improve, myself included, and we actually know what we're going to do in the summer to achieve those objectives.
Just finally on that, why do you think that Mark doesn't feel that he can speak to you or one of your maybe many sporting directors? Do you think that he's just unaware of where the kind of power lies within all of this?
Everybody knows Mark Cucurella, knows his character. He's a great character. He's passionate. He wants to do well. I think for him, he did an interview, a long interview, where he spoke with passion. He spoke his mind. Yesterday, while I was in the office with him for half an hour, was to remind him, you can come and speak to me. You can be honest with me, and you can be honest with the club about what you want. But that takes time. I've been here for 2.5 months. We played 20 games. So to build those relationships and those connections takes time. But Mark is fully committed. He wants to be here. He's made that very, very clear to me. And he actually believes in where we're moving forward.
And just finally for me, I guess you and I both know this noise goes away when you win and when you're playing well. So with that in mind, a cup, an early bit of silverware in your Chelsea head coach career can go a long way. We've seen that with other managers starting out. So just how important does tomorrow become? I mean, this becomes an absolute nightmare if you don't go through.
Yeah, we want to win. It's not about me. I've said that. It's not about me winning silver. It's about this club being successful now and in the long term. And to do that, you have to go through difficult moments. You learn a lot about the characters in your group, and I'm talking about the characters not just in the playing staff, but the support staff, the coaching staff, myself. You have to go through these processes, this pain, to make sure you make good decisions moving forward.
Thank you.
Keris?
Can I just check with Mark Cucurella? You mentioned Enzo Fernández won't be available the next couple of games. Is there any kind of similar kind of sanction being considered for Mark, or is that separate?
No, that's a separate case, and Mark is available and will be involved in the game tomorrow.
Thank you. Just with those kind of everything that we've spoken about, who will be kind of wearing the armband, and who are the leaders that you're looking to step up with? Reece injured, Trevor injured, and now Fernandez unavailable. Who are you looking at as kind of the leaders in the camp at the moment? We've got many. Moi Caicedo in our leadership group, Tosin, we've got Cole Palmer, we've got João Pedro, we've got Mark Cucurella, we've got leaders in the group. So I'll make that decision later on today when I name the team, and you'll see who's captain tomorrow. And if I can just really briefly as well, you mentioned there looking at what you need to address in the summer.
Yeah.
Have you had conversations about bringing kind of more experience into this group?
Bring in players with emotional stability, bringing good characters in who in difficult moments can understand what it takes to win in those difficult moments. And not just me, we've had great conversations. I've had conversations with the ownership, the sporting directors about what we do in the summer. And we've also had conversations with certain players in the group as well, who are really, really happy with the direction that we're going to go in. And before that, we need to make sure that we challenge for the Champions League, get into the Champions League, and hopefully win the FA Cup.